It's a time for package from China. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in, guys. So in this video we are going to do a side-by-side comparison with the Powkiddy versus the P7000 from the future. Sounds more like a Terminator, don't you think so? But nevertheless, let's talk about these two little bad boys, or bad people. It's just 7 inches of fun. So, package from China battle, let's go. But in this video I wanted to talk about the two systems and what are the major differences. I will not do a little bit of a nerdy talk because I leave that one to Mr. Prime. Yes, you know, ETA Prime. So that we're going to do here in the video, and of course side by side what are the differences and which one will be victorious. Because at the end we need to choose who will win this wicked battle. Both of them are looking a little bit like a Switch, but in my opinion, to begin with, I think that, let's say, the Powkiddy X2 looks like a real Switch clone. Okay, so let's talk about the casing itself. So the first thing that is very noticeable, that the Powkiddy, or sorry, said it wrong. Powkiddy is having a way more sturdy build than the other version, the PS7000. The PS7000 is a very nice lightweighted system, feels a little bit flimsy, very lightweighted, and what you can see with the button configuration, they are really ripping up the Switch because they're having the 4 little buttons like the original Nintendo Switch, of course. So if you're looking at which one will fit this description, fake Switch, it will be the Powkiddy X2. Alright, so let's do a side-by-side comparison with the buttons and the D-pad analog stick here at the left side. So the first thing which you're seeing with the PS7000 is that we're having here the little Switch joystick. I really like it. They even have a little click. Yeah. So here we're having the D-pad. Finally, they gave us this very normal D-pad, or normal. It plays like shit, to be honest. Because nothing beats the D-pad from the Red Dream 350. But alright, this is a little bit of an improvement over this, because this is not what we can call a D-pad, and the click is very long, or the travel is very long, and the click is very cheap. And not even to begin about this cheap ass horrible analog stick. This thing has volume control over here, and here's the select start on the Powkiddy. Okay, so on this side from the PS7000 we're finding select and start over here. The buttons have quite a long travel and a very cheap click. Of course we're having again the Nintendo Switch rip-off analog stick, like it. Here we're having the back button on the Powkiddy, and we're having here the little, let's say, we cannot pull it off, but, oh yeah, we can pull it off. But we're having the little, more like PSP rip-off joystick. Really hate it. The buttons, yeah, similar like these. Cheap feel, don't like it. Alright, so it's time for the Nintendo Switch fake sandwich. Yes, so what are the differences between the two systems and the top of the system? So the first thing and the noticeable is that both of them have an HDMI. But with the Powkiddy, it was pretty shitty, I can tell you that. I don't want to talk about it, it's pretty damn depressing. But with the, let's say, the PS7000, it is pretty good. The HDMI works like a charm. And yeah, the differences, we're having minor differences, like the Powkiddy has the volume control and the on and off switch over here. And here we're having an on and off switch that's basically just a switch. I really like it with the PS7000. Also, this thing has 4 shoulder buttons. And we don't have that with the Powkiddy. So that is pretty shitty. So when it comes to the features like HDMI, shoulder buttons, the PS7000 wins it again. It's basically a system from the future. Alright, so let's talk about the displays itself, because here we're going to get the biggest noticeable difference, and I'm just going to tell you already, the Powkiddy is not really shitty, because they didn't mess it up with this. If you're looking at the display itself, they are using an IPS display. Let's put it on the full setting, let's see if I can full screen, no, let's see. Backlight, sorry, that was the backlight. So the backlight itself, it looks amazing. They're using this IPS display, and with the Powkiddy, it's not really shitty. It's pretty damn awesome. The same goes with this device. Let's go to the backlight. You can see it's even on number 4 already. But when you can putting them side by side, I will show you a little bit of a sample next after I'm talking about it. you will see that it will have a big difference, and that is something the Powkiddy just is way better. And that's such a big bummer. Already told me in the main review, why the hell didn't you give this PS7000 a freaking IPS display? If they did that, it would be freaking awesome. See, that's what I'm talking about. Alright, so let's do a little bit of a side-by-side comparison and let's check out this same game that is running on both of the systems. And you can see there are quite some differences. So to begin with, the way how they are going to put out the game. And what I mean with this is that if you can see with the X2, or better said, the Powkiddy, you can see we're having two sidebars. And for the people who really like the 4:3 aspect ratio will really enjoy this. And with the PS7000, we're having the problem that, yeah, this is a little bit of a bummer, that it stretches out the game. If you look at the colors, to be honest, I think it's not a big of a deal looking so on my camera. And you will see the same result, that even for not an IPS display, it looks pretty good. But again, yeah, the view angle, that is the major difference. And of course, the aspect ratio where the games are running on. And no, you can change it out with these systems. Okay, so let's talk about the way how you can go back. With this PS7000, when you're pressing it, you can do a save state, load, you can configure some controls. And when pressing this button, it also goes back. Alright, so let's talk about the quick save, quick load option. Let's begin with the PS7000. This version has an option menu when you're pressing select and start in game. This is what we're going to get. We can choose the save slot, we can quick save, quick load, and we can mess around with the controls if needed. Alright, then we're having the Powkiddy. The Powkiddy is running on a RetroArch. So when you're pressing the on off switch button for 1 second, you will get this menu when you're in game. From this point you can also basically quit RetroArch. But here we can also mess around with the input, restart, resume, and yes people, we're having quick load, quick save, and also we're having the slot when you want to put it in. So basically it's the same. It works a little bit differently how you can reach the menu, but you just need to know. Alright, so let's talk about the audio. With the PS7000 we're having two speakers here on the back. Both have stereo sound, so that is not a big of a difference. The question is how good is the quality and how loud it goes. And with the Powkiddy we're having two speakers here at the bottom. So that's what we're going to get. So let's do a little audio check, which will defeat the master of audio. Or you know what I mean. Which one have the best audio? Yeah, something like that. Okay, if it comes to the audio, the PS7000 is just victorious big time. You can feel the bass when holding the device itself. The audio goes way louder and it sounds way better. With the Powkiddy, don't get me wrong, it's not that it's really bad, but with the loudest settings it doesn't go very loud, and missing bass, yeah, it's not that great. So the PS7000 is the winner, victorious of the audio tests. Wicked style. Let's talk about the functionalities. What can we do with these devices? Of course we can play games, but also we have the option to watch movies, and we can watch here a little pretty picture. But that are a little bit of an old function that we're still having from the old days, because back in the day when I started YouTube we were having a shitty camera. Both of them don't have a shitty camera anymore. Very happy that he finally removed those things. But this is what you're going to get with the functionalities. If it comes to the games itself, as you can see, we're having here the thumbnails. I really hate those because you can change them out, and if something goes wrong with the file, you're having a dead link on your display. I really hate it. My personal opinion is just remove those, or just give us the option to change it all out. So when it comes to, let's say, retro games, as you can see over here, we're having a little tiny list over here. That's the only thing that you're going to get. And with the Powkiddy, you're going to get this fancy menu. But they basically do all the same. We're having the 8-bit, 16-bit, we're having the CPS, or better said, the arcade stuff. So that's what you're going to get. They say this thing runs N64, but I can tell you it runs like shit. But at the end, so if it comes to emulation, or better said, if it comes to performance, both systems are equal to each other. So that is not a big of an, I think not big of a deal. Yeah. If you have any question, you can always leave it in the comments. Okay, so let's do a little bit of a conclusion. Which one is the best? I can't decide, simply because both have pros and cons. Okay, let's wrap it up. Let's choose the PS7000. Good D-pad, shitty display, pretty good audio. Weighs a little bit light. The Powkiddy has a very nice display, shitty D-pad, let's say decent audio but not great. Shitty HDMI out. In other words, it doesn't even matter which one you will get, there is always a negative part of an handheld. So yeah, do you have any questions? Leave it in the comments. But thank you for watching, consider subscribing, become one of the Wicked family, and it would be great to have you here, and I will see you in the next video. Haha.